Morning, Otters. Wish I were in the hallways and able to say good morning to everybody. Hello, how are you? I think most of us, or many of us, are really missing that connection. Um, and it's Spirit Week, so I am in OV blue and white. I even have otter socks on. To be mindful and very happy to think about that connection of all of us with our spirit and pride in our school and in the connections that we have. And actually, this morning, I'm going to talk about connection and talk about communication because I think that that's part of self-care. And the theme this week that I want to do for checking in with all of you and saying hello is about self-care. And so a big thing to be mindful of is thinking about our connections and how we go about them and how we go about our conversations. This is a whole new situation that all of us are trying to figure out the best that we can. And social media has become very prominent, really important in our lives for communication and getting messages out and some humor and some entertainment and feeling a little bit of connection to the wider world and to our friends and to see who else is on there. The piece that I want to talk a little bit about is genuine conversations. And how do we have genuine conversations? For example, this little video feels odd to me because it's only one way. I am talking kind of at you. I'm not really able to be having a conversation that's two ways where I'm listening and seeing a reaction. I'm not able to know where this video will go. I don't know exactly who's going to see it once I put it out into the online social media world. I lose complete control over where it goes. I may get some feedback back. You could get little hearts or likes or maybe a brief comment or something like that. And sometimes that feels great. Sometimes it doesn't if it's not well received or not looked at a whole lot. So it is a communication. However, it has limitations, and the limitations have to do with having a genuine conversation. And so, one of the things I want otters to think about and people to think about is what makes a genuine conversation? Uh, a genuine conversation that you feel that has been more fulfilling than just a one-sided conversation has to do with listening, and it has to do with really having a connection with that one other person or maybe two other people in a small group where you're able to put out a genuine feeling of how you're doing. And we all have a lot of feelings that are definitely going on for us. Our worlds have been turned upside down. We're isolated from our friends. We're isolated from other family members. We're not in our usual routines. We're worried. There's money worries, there's health worries, there's some scares out there. So we have a lot of genuine feelings going on, and they need some expression, and they need expression in a way that you feel heard. And so I want you to think about during the course of your day about your communication. So if you're spending a lot of time, for example, maybe on some social media format, um, it has value, absolutely. I mean, I know people get a real kick out of having a great streak on Snapchat, and that feels really cool. Or you put out a post and it gets a great reaction. That is a form of communication. However, make sure, please, that you are also having either a face-to-face communication with someone in your household or you're having a face-to-face communication that is some online format that is back and forth with listening and with the ability to have it be private, not something that is going out into the world, and you don't know where it's going, but something that starts with when somebody says, "How are you?" You really answer, not just fine. But maybe how you are is great because you just learned a new skill. Um, Maybe you just learned how to make bread and you'd never known that before, and it was really cool. Maybe you had a great walk. Um, but maybe that genuine feeling has to do with, I am so upset to lose my season this year for sports, or maybe it has something else to do. And you really want to make a connection about that. And you're also helping the other person, your friend, or maybe a relative you've reached out to, um, because they need that genuine connection as well. So I encourage that genuine connection to happen either in a face to face online format. One big connection is with your OV faculty, either your teachers, your advisor, guidance. We're happy through Google Hangouts and through your Google Classroom connections. We really want you to connect with those pieces because those are more of a genuine connection and conversation, where you are seeing people's faces, you're hearing back and forth. The other thing I would encourage is the good old fashioned telephone. You may have friends that they don't have internet. We're in rural Vermont. Maybe they don't have a smartphone. Um, Go outside your comfort zone a little bit and have a conversation on the telephone. I know that's not something that with the younger generation, that's what they're terribly comfortable with. But take a look at your OV faculty, at myself. I've never done a little video for YouTube before a week ago. Okay. So I'm putting myself out there, and so are the rest of the folks in your life. They are trying to figure out all sorts of new technologies and formats and whatnot to communicate, to get themselves out there. So we would encourage a reverse of going backwards to the telephone, as a real way that you can have a conversation. And part of that conversation, although it doesn't have the face-to-face connect, you hear a person's voice. You hear their tone, you hear the hesitation. You can pick up on more things about what's really going on for them. Maybe they're picking up more of what's going on for you, and it's private. So those are the other pieces. Another piece that I've heard from some folks is, my house is so small, there really isn't any privacy. So sometimes I heard from someone, they were sitting in the car to have a private conversation from the rest of the family. Um, that's a great idea. If there's a way, the weather's getting nicer, so sitting outside a little bit to have that conversation. But what I really encourage and hope for is that you are having at least one, hopefully more, genuine conversations in your day, that are not through some format that also has other distractions to it. So sometimes I hear from folks, "Oh, well, I connect with my friends while we're gaming," and I I'm aware of that, and it's a cool connection. But the conversation usually focuses somewhere around the game. Um, other people can be privy to your conversation and all that kind of stuff. So the key pieces that you're looking for is some privacy in the conversation. You're looking for that it's back and forth, so that it's a connection that has a give and take and has a listening component to it, where you're listening and the other person is listening to you, and where you're also being real about how you feel and about what's going on for you in your day to day. So, those are some really important parts about that communication, that connection, that conversation. So, Otters, I miss you very much. Miss seeing you and having you be able to pop into my office and we can chat face to face. That will come again, and I know you all have a lot going on. And let's keep our communication open. And your OV community and faculty is all still here, and I'll check in with you again tomorrow. Happy Monday.